Namaskar, Jai Hind, Jai Bharat, and welcome to Dev Talks. I have with me Ambassador Kanwal Sibal. Sir, firstly, Namaskar, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much for inviting me again.
I saw your very strong comments on this so-called perpetrated track two dialogue between certain, um, retired generals and diplomats and this and that, and it's being built up to a point where people are starting to believe that the official government policy and the official national policy, forget the government, I think you and I, all of us are in agreement of the policy of no interactions with the Pakistanis, no discounts to the Pakistanis is not real. What is your opinion, sir? You wrote a very strong comment yesterday. Uh, I'd like to hear your views.
Couple of things. One, I know that this dialogue between retired diplomats and generals and people from think tanks and academics has been going on for years. This is promoted by Western think tanks, whether they are British or I found that Canadians have got into it, and Qatar seems also have become active in this regard, so as to keep the channels of dialogue between India and Pakistan open. Now, you know as well as I do that there are a lot of people in India, and this includes some of our colleagues in the Foreign Service who have been posted there as ambassadors, who advocate keeping the channels of communication with Pakistan open. Uh, and they generally, in terms of how we should approach our problems with our neighbors, that turning your back, especially on Pakistan, which is a perennial problem, which is a nuclear armed country, uh, and it can do a lot and does a lot to hurt and damage our interests. It's got strong bonds with China and this and that. That common sense and pragmatism uh, demands that you don't close all channels of a dialogue. And therefore, some of these people outside the government, outside the policy making circles, but who have been in government before, uh, they think that they are actually filling a void that ought to be filled. And since the government has decided as a policy not to have any dialogue with Pakistan, they can, because they feel that some kind of a channel of communication is needed, can do this. And I think I won't be wrong in saying that what they then do is that after they've had their meeting, probably they send notes here and there about what has transpired and what their assessment is of the mood on the other side. Now, I have been in this wretched track two business for some years, the Nimarana one, and we had taken a decision in principle that we will not accept any sponsorship of any foreign agencies. Because once a foreign agency sponsors something, then you are working to their agenda. But in this case, it was the Ministry of External Affairs that was financing it. And that's the reason I agreed to join. And after having several meetings with the other side, and there were some serious people on the other side, retired people, it's not as if they were not. I found that it was essentially a fruitless dialogue. Fruitless dialogue. That nothing new was coming out. There was nothing worth reporting to the government in any serious manner. Because, like on our side, on their side, there may be people who think that they had in the past played some important role, but they have really no influence with their government. So they feel satisfied that they are playing some role, being useful, and on our side there is the same sentiment. But you talk at cross purposes. Occasionally, yes, there are some interesting discussions in my time, for instance, on what was happening in the Northwest Frontier province. There was a journalist on the Pakistani side, I'm forgetting his name, and he was very good, and he was giving very good insights into the ground situation in the NFWP at that time. And there was the chairman of the former State Bank of Pakistan, who also had his head in the right place, and was giving a very good, objective uh, assessment of the economic situation in Pakistan. So, to that extent, uh, yes, But when it came to the core issues which divide us, on which we need progress if we want really to resume any serious dialogue and relationship, there was no meeting of minds. The generals on the other side were very, very clear that no, we are not involved in terrorism. Why should we be involved in terrorism? We are victims of terrorism ourselves. And a whole long list of the casualties they have suffered internally because of terrorism. And then the usual thing: you are the bigger country, you have to make concessions, you have to take the first step, and stuff like that. Uh, so nothing has changed. Nothing has changed. And in this case, why I wrote strongly, as you say, was that the last meeting was held in Qatar. Qatar? I mean, what is Qatar's purpose in promoting this dialogue? What is the intention behind it? And why should any serious person from our side go to an event sponsored by Qatar, given Qatar's past, as if Qatar is full of goodwill towards India, etc., etc. Canadians, I mean, if you look at the position Canada has taken on forces that are inimical to the interests of India, they should do something first there to persuade us that their heart is in the right place, rather than getting involved in India-Pakistan affairs. Similarly, the British, I've forgotten this institute, they're very prominent, not IISS, the other one. They're also been arranging India-Pakistan talks. They've sponsored them. And the whole idea is to, they think, create amongst the people who they think are influencers, big or small in their own way, a move in favor of resuming dialogue with Pakistan. There was a report in the Hindustan Times a few weeks ago, or less than a few weeks ago, which said that, there has been this back channel dialogue and giving the logic of that. And then in the Indian Express the other day, same thing. And I found that obviously there was somebody behind this planting these stories. There was some vested interest behind this who were giving visibility to these kind of back channel track two contacts in order to build an ecosystem in which there will be a felt need for resuming some back channel talks between India and Pakistan. And in this particular Indian Express report, they said we have escalated it to the level of the national security advisor, etc., etc., and gave certain reasons that Pakistan has wormed its way into the favor of Trump. They are not isolated. The international community has lost interest in the entire war on terror or the issue of terrorism. In other words, that we have been worsted in terms of our equation with Pakistan. Pakistan is getting rehabilitated, and therefore we should feel the need to engage Pakistan. In other words, this whole business about Operation Sindoor is continuing, and that war on terror is not over. And all the statements we made, including Rajnath Singh at the recent meeting that he attended, I think in an SCO, Defense Ministers meeting, where he spoke very strongly about terrorism, etc., etc. So it's, in a sense, countering the Modi government's policy on no talks with Pakistan. At the same time, although this has not appeared in the reports that in our press, which in Hindustan Times and the Indian Express, there is now, as I can see, prompted by Pakistan, they think that they now got an upper hand and they listen to more. They've gained respectability. Their voice matters. Their image has improved. Pressure on the Indus Waters Treaty. So there are now a lot of discussions, papers being written, and Pakistan itself becomes much more active on this Indus Waters Treaty, even threatening and stuff like that. They think now they can put pressure on India. They'll have greater sympathy from Western circles who have always wanted to have a close eye on developments between India and Pakistan and try and help Pakistan in its equation with India, etc., etc. So, so it is in that context that I thought that it was necessary to give my views for whatever it is worth on this so-called track to diplomacy, which is a pleasant way of visiting foreign countries sponsored by others, staying in good hotels and having a conversation and feeling that you are contributing to national security in some way.
So to me, the whole thing seems to be so fantastical that the few people who have no kind of you know backing, or no kind of even structure from the government which has been given, or official strategic circles which has been given. These are just people who are meeting with each other and hi, hello, hanji, hanji, there is a problem, hanji, 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 hanji. That's just, oh, let's have lunch with a glass of wine and everything like that. And oh yeah, we'll just take an afternoon siesta and then we meet up in the evening. Let's have some drinks and dinner, and that's just about it. That's the track too. And I know people that have been there in these dialogues, which I've not seen a single one. And please correct me if I'm wrong. Any single decision that has been influenced by a track two conversation.
Not at all. I can tell you because I'm now talking about the Nimirana dialogue, which was officially sponsored by the Ministry of External Affairs, in the sense they were paying for this from our side. And we were, of course, producing reports and sending them to the government. But see, the point is that if you believe that people on the other side have influence with policy makers and can shape Pakistan's policy, it is one thing. But this is not the case. In fact, I would go to the extent of saying that two things. One is that from our side, we some of them people who actually were part of the dialogue were a little more independent minding. So although they were not speaking against government policy, nevertheless, they are independent views. But on the Pakistan side, on issues, key issues, everybody speaks the same language. There is no difference between the official position and what they say. So it's not. So I don't know how talking to them would have any impact on General Asim Munir, for instance. Will they persuade him that you've been independent, you've been this two bloody nation theory, on that basis you've been independent for whatever number of years already. So why do you want to hark back to the two nation theory that Hindus and Muslims can't live together, etc., etc.? What's the point in that? And will they be in a position to influence his thinking? Will they be in a position? And this is a question I would ask, that are you then willing to give up your position that for normalization you have to address the Kashmir issue? That if there is any dialogue, then discussion on Kashmir has to be an integral part of the dialogue. Are you in a position to walk away from that? Are you in a position when your prime ministers go to the UNGA and they speak very disparagingly about India and human rights and Kashmir, are you willing to give up that kind of diplomacy, or try to find, as your PR to the UN does, any possibility of bringing the Kashmir issue back on the table of the UN Security Council? Are you willing to move away from that? Therefore, because to create an atmosphere where India can feel that we can see visible changes in the approach that Pakistan has. Are you willing in the OIC to stop this kind of vicious propaganda campaign against India? Are you willing to give on the issue of your relationship with China or whatever? Are you willing to do and say something which gives us the impression that you are building your relationship with China, arms supplies and everything else, and you're playing the game together in terms of countering India strategically. Not that we expect you to, but unlike us. Now, when we beef up our defenses and develop ourselves militarily, we do not have any understanding with people that we collaborate with that our obsession is with Pakistan, and therefore we need the kind of relationship we're trying to build with you, with the sole purpose of getting the better of Pakistan.
Mm.
But in their case, the entire relationship, everything depends on how we can counter India. It's their obsession, and that's why the military budget is. The military takes most of the budget, and and whatever we know about how the economy functions. So, on these core issues, all right. Then is it that they are in a position to put genuine, visible curbs on these jihadi organizations in Pakistan? Are they willing to do that? Are they willing to give any evidence that they are doing so? Now, when I was in office, I used to uh, say, and that argument still remains relevant, that I used to tell these fellows, give me one instance, just one instance, where you have shown your good faith in terms of combating terrorism by letting us know in advance that, look, we do not fully control these tanzeems and everything else. They are active, and we know that they are doing some potential mischief from POK into your territory. So we are warning you that they may use this route or use that route. So please tackle them. So I said, if you give us me one instance where you've done that, then we can say yes. Your heart is in the right place in terms of dealing with the terrorism, but you've never been able to give any form of cooperation on this account. Now, I heard the other day, and this is again part of the same thing that's happening. The France 24 English had a couple of days ago a long interview with Bilawal Bhutto, where the Indus Waters Treaty was mentioned. And Bilawal Bhutto, of course, throughout was very aggressive, including on the issue of terrorism. And look at the absurdity of it. He said, "Oh, India is promoting terrorism in Pakistan," and he mentioned Kulbhushan Yadav's name. For heaven's sake, the former foreign minister of Pakistan, when he wants to actually say that Pakistani's credentials in terms of terrorism are very good and India's are very bad, and the only instance he can quote is Kulbhushan Yadav. This is in their mindset. This is in their mindset. They will not accept that they have anything to answer for. And this was his entire line of argument. And mind you, from a certain point of view, to those who are very ignorant of the details of Pakistan's misconduct vis-a-vis India, he's quite persuasive in his own way, because Angrezi mein to achhi bolta hai. So, and the anchor was not putting him on the mat when he was talking about how great Pakistan is in terms of countering terrorism. He didn't remind him about Osama bin Laden and Taliban and everything else.
So the most interesting thing to me, and when I look at this track 2 thing, fair enough, you need to keep, even to your enemies you talk, because you want to ensure that there's no stupid thing that happens. And some messages, obviously, at a strategic level need to be pushed across. Sometimes their person inadvertently crosses over for, any citizen just walks over. They need to talk to us. Yeah, the guy, there's nothing, this thing. Please send him back. Is his family, this, that. They will give all the details. Same happens with our people. Soldiers cross over during, adverse weather conditions where you can't see, they get lost and they cross over, and happens there, happens here. So, this is not an aggressive sort of a thing. So there are certain links of communications which are there. Now, my question to you is, over the past so many years, and people like you who've been in positions of decision and positions of power, we have learned one thing very, very clearly, that there is no civilian that you can talk to in Pakistan. It's only the military. And that's why you see the Modi government's policies that, and even during Op Sindoor, they very clearly said the conversation will be between the militaries. Let the DGMO call our DGMO and then we will talk.
Mm.
There is
Mm.
no Modi ji calling Shabazz Sharif, and that's not going to happen.
Mm.
So the military DGMO conversations are done at a level of, flag meetings at the brigade level, at the company levels, and right up to the DGMO levels, just to keep a certain sector balanced, right? What is the need of again going back to that civilian structure when you know they have no power in Pakistan? That to me sounds so, blindsided. Are we so stupid that we believe the Pakistani, for the lack of a better word, makkan lagawing every time, and people write articles and stuff? And with respect to this thing of somebody, a former diplomat, one time actually got into a huge soup of hot water recently when she kind of mentioned that we must have a dialogue with Pakistan. Women should lead that initiative and this and that. I mean, you saw half the country got after her and said, "No, ma'am, you have no permission from our side to do it. We are
Mm.
the citizens of the country. We don't want to talk to Pakistan." So why would you want to go back to that sort of a scenario where we are again blindsided with this thing? It's beyond me. It doesn't. I mean,
A couple of things. One is that you know, at the end of the day, we are a democracy, and there's freedom of thought, and policies are contested constantly. Not
just
only with
absolutely.
Pakistan, with every country, policies are contested, whether US or Pakistan or what have you, and views are freely expressed. Now, of course, you get a wide range of opinion because of X and the social
Mhm.
media, uh, where people who are not fools but and who have some standing, social standing, they do express their views, and very often these views are in disagreement with the policies of the government. That's one. The other is that not all of them, to be fair, are ill-intentioned, in the sense that they are doing this because they don't feel for the country or they are anti-national in some ways. That's probably not the case. Actually, they define their position as being more aware of where our national interest lies, rather than necessarily the policies of the government. That what they think is in the larger national interest, whereas the government is taking a very narrow position. This is part of a democratic debate on such matters
Fair,
in any
fair.
country. You've seen in the United States also,
Yeah,
uh,
yeah.
people are very, very uh, they very seriously question the policies of the Trump government towards Iran,
Mhm.
for instance. So, so, so therefore, I won't necessarily say all of them have intentions which are questionable. They think they are playing a useful role. But what I ask myself is again, uh, give one instance, one instance where Pakistan has done things which indicates that there is a serious re-questioning of their attitude, policies towards India, and they want to have better relationship with India. Now, if there's no evidence of that, then why are you still believing that talking on track two, or generally speaking, theoretically saying it's good to have dialogue with neighbors is going to help? How? The point is that on Pakistan side, we have to see a curve which shows that they are taking, they can't take steps immediately on all fronts to give confidence to India that there is a big change in their policy. But if there were incremental steps on their side, then we could say, all right, let's encourage that process. But if let somebody give me an evidence of that from Pakistan. On the contrary, the rhetoric is becoming even more aggressive, especially under Field Marshal Asim Muni. And look at that. Now, we know what the reality of Operation Sindoor was. But the Pakistanis genuinely believe they worsted India. They got the better of India. Now, why are they believing that? Because a certain narrative has been pushed. And why is the narrative being pushed? Because you want to give confidence to the country that the Pakistani military is strong. It gave India a bloody nose, and therefore they are the best protectors of Pakistan's future and its dignity and its honor and its national interest. Now, what does that translate into? It translates into maintaining a hostile posture towards India. So, uh, so therefore, talking in the air that we should reach out or we should play sports and we should have artists coming in and this and that. For heaven's sake, I've gone through all this uh, these arguments when I was in office. Uh, Now, we did allow it at one time; it was happening, and then you had the Mumbai attacks, and you had all these attacks in, in Pulwama, this and that, the Pathankot or Udhampur or whatever, and eventually this Pahalgam. Despite the fact that in the past we've had contacts at a civil society level, artists and academics and this and that, nothing changed. Nothing changed. So why live in this make-believe world that somehow, uh, opening our doors to Pakistan is going to change the Pakistani mindset? Today, in fact, they will interpret it very differently. Precisely what I had mentioned earlier, that they are better placed. They've got America on their side. They've got the defense pact with Saudi Arabia. Turkey is helping them. China continues to arm them. They've got the first submarine from China, and they think they're going to be able to change the naval balance between the two countries, and that this mediation business has given them an international image of sorts, a positive image of sorts, and therefore, if at this stage you want to engage them, you will give the message to them that India is now realizing that it is on a weaker ground and needs to engage Pakistan. In fact, if you wanted to engage Pakistan, then you should have done it at a time when you had the real upper hand. It was recognized you had it. You didn't do it. And now you want to do it when ostensibly Pakistan feels, and some of its supporters feel, that it's become a very major country. It's getting telephone calls from all over the world about this mediation and stuff like that. That image of Pakistan as a rogue state or a semi-rogue state supporting terrorism, that is being whitewashed, and therefore their tails are up.
The interesting thing in this entire story, and is again, as you mentioned, that there is no trust. There is zero trust. I don't think the Pakistanis will trust us even. Forget us trusting them. There is no trust here. But sir, at the end of it, when you look at the public sentiment, this is a democracy, as you very clearly said. The public sentiment today is hell bent against it. I mean, you'll have probably a 90% voting saying no, no talks with Pakistan, because at the end of it, people are sick and tired of how they are.
Hmm. No,
And
but
that's something.
but Adi, talks on what? What will be the agenda?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, any interaction, as per se, the public perception is deadly against it.
Hmm.
Now, if this is a democracy, then the public will also have its say in foreign policy as well.
Hmm.
You've asked a very valid question. Talks on what? What do you talk about? And here is where the Pakistani need comes into place. And I think you mentioned that in one of your answers here, is the Indus Water Treaty.
Hmm.
That tightening of the tap a little bit has created a huge amount of furor over there. I want to talk about that for a minute, sir. They've conducted about 13 international conferences and about 15 other expeditionary sort of conferences around the world. We recently had a statement of the Chatham House coming across. Now, Chatham House, you and I both know, sits in the middle.
I had Chatham House in mind when I was thinking of a
Yeah,
British think tank who organizes these India-Pakistan
yeah.
talks.
So we know where the Chatham House sits, the city of London, and that entire financial structure of the world and everything like that. We know that entire game. So Chatham House puts out an article. There are these so-called studies which are happening and this and that. But none of these monkeys, and I'm sorry to say that, none of these monkeys are actually asking a simple question. Fair enough, is if India is investing about $3-5 billion in fixing up its own stuff, it's not crossing the line as far as the treaty is concerned. Why aren't you?
You mean in terms of?
Clean up your dams, make reservoirs.
Yeah, but that I think I've seen a couple of articles to that effect, to say that they are neglecting their own dams, the reservoirs are getting silted,
Yeah.
the utility of the dams is declining because of this. Not enough power is being produced, and that it's not only the question of their rights to the water of the three rivers, but also put their own house in order to alleviate the potential water shortage that is being felt. Yeah, you're right there. See, the other thing is that actually it's quite interesting that when you talk about the climate change agenda and melting of glaciers in the Himalayas and water shortages, it's including in the Indian subcontinent, uh, which is water stressed. In uh, so you could make out a case that in the larger climate change background, India and Pakistan have to look for alternative solutions to increase the flow of water or water management in a more scientific and organized manner so that the potential shortages can be alleviated. And this can be picked up by a lot of these climate change uh, activists to then generate pressure on India that the solution to the issues is not the abeyance of the Indus Waters Treaty, but broaden the agenda and work together, taking into account the impact of climate change on both countries, etc., etc. So now, uh, I think the this climate change concerns and everything else have already peaked, and all this while, Pakistan couldn't take advantage of it. And now, with the chap like Trump, totally negating the climate change agenda, repudiating it completely, walking out of the Paris Agreement, doesn't have any time for it. Is going to make Pakistan's task that much more difficult in terms of using these kind of arguments. And secondly, there is now one can see a major change in India-Europe relations, and Europe still is very committed to uh, climate change issues and stuff like that. But I think Europe will now be much more loath to interfere in India-Pakistan relations in favor of Pakistan, because the stakes in India have risen so much and they recognize them. So to that extent also, Pakistan is not going to be able to generate support, barring some Chatham House. And people writing for these in Chatham House, I saw this article, it's an Indian origin woman who wrote a piece in Chatham House on the Indus Waters Treaty. So they'll always get these kind of rootless Indians who want to
Yes.
say how objective they are and how free they are in their thinking. That or even on issues of vital concern to India, they can take an independent view, larger, subcontinental view and stuff like that. And they're quite happy to play the games on behalf of these think tank organizations, especially in Britain.
You see, that's the whole point. It's hypocrisy at best.
Yeah,
At
no,
best.
no. The point is that I have always advocated, even when I was in office. In fact, when I was in office and I had on my own uh, postponed the meeting of the Indus Waters Commissioners because I knew that if I wrote a paper to say that we should do something at the policy level to put pressure on Pakistan on the Indus Waters Treaty, that will get into a kind of internal discussion, this and that and that. So we said we will just postpone the meeting of the Indus Waters Commissioner, and then this was after the Parliament attack, and this will send a message to them that things are changing. and we are going to now have a different tack altogether with regard to that. They can't be blood and water together.
Mm. Yeah.
Cannot fit together. So I've always been a very strong supporter of the revision and abrogation of the Indus Waters Treaty. So I'm very glad that we have put it in abeyance, and this is what we should continue to do and exercise our full rights under the
Mhm.
Indus Waters Treaty, which gives us the rights to build run-of-the-river power projects on the rivers allocated to Pakistan, and we should do that.
What
And
we're doing right now is absolutely at par with the treaty. We've not stepped away from the treaty at all. They're
absolutely,
flying within that. So you signed a treaty, and now
except
when
no, no,
somebody is
except,
implementing it, you are
no, except. Uh, treaty has a certain mechanism. You
data
have
sharing and stuff like that. Yeah,
3 steps and this and that final court of arbitration.
fair enough. Fair enough.
Pakistan has thoroughly misused, exploited
Hmm.
to
Hmm.
block, delay Indian projects. Uh, the whole purpose has been that somehow make it very difficult. And because one of the reasons why also we needed to develop these projects was to provide more power to Jammu and Kashmir. And they had a vested interest in making sure that J&K continues to suffer from power shortages and this and that, so that the public opinion remains agitated. That's why people like Omar Abdullah and all, they've been always very strongly supportive of India doing the projects on these rivers, because it serves the interests of Jammu and Kashmir. So now with this abeyance, we are not giving Pakistan the opportunity to do inspections and raise this objection and raise that objection, which is very good. We should quickly do these projects without violating the treaty, create the bondage that is permitted to us. And insofar as the sluice gates are concerned, Pakistan insists that you should follow old technologies of 30, 40 years, which causes silting, which is a problem. And therefore, raising the height of the sluice gates, which they have been objecting to, we can do it. In fact, one of the neutral experts at one time, I've forgotten the details, had recommended that in the Baghdad project, what India is recommending is in line with the latest technologies. Yeah, and but this was challenged.
Yeah. For
So
what? Just women fancy.
no, challenge that because they don't want us they want to they want to delay as much as possible. This Bulbul project, for example,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
we
yeah.
have never
Yeah.
seen the light of day
Hmm.
because the
Now
Pakistan
it
has,
is,
yeah.
and they realize that there's a problem. Sir, just a last simple query. At the diplomatic level, of course, I think Mr. Jaishankar and everybody are pretty clear with this entire game. Uh, because the world order, as per se, which was a Western-driven order, is broken down completely. You mentioned about Europe. Even the Americans are not in a position to kind of advise. The Pakistanis keep claiming that, oh, we have the Donald Trump with us, so India is going to have a great challenge in this and that. you know, Going forward, I don't see the credibility. I don't. I mean, Trump, if he had 10% of a credibility, where JD Vance called up Prime Minister Modi and said on the 9th, oh, they're going to attack, please be careful. And, Modi ji said, let them do what they want to. I don't think anybody will even pick up their phone calls this time. Am I right?
Of the Americans.
Yeah.
I think there's no harm in picking up the phone and talking to them, but then you do what you have to do,
Yeah.
because
I mean,
that's part of diplomacy. Uh, the strength of diplomacy lies in ultimately doing what you want to do,
yeah.
not in saying that I won't take your phone call.
Mm.
So that
No,
that
I'm
is.
just, it's a
I know
rhetorical
you
statement
I know you are saying it
in a lighter sense.
in a rhetorical way,
Yeah.
but your central point is right, that we have to then take decisions based on our core national interest.
Indeed.
But we have a problem. Let's be frank about it. We have a
Yeah.
problem because Trump has quite needlessly, built up Pakistan, and especially his favorite field marshal, and constantly praising him, and then finding cover uh, by saying that he stepped back from challenging Iran because he thinks that it will be disastrous for him domestically, taking cover under Pakistan request, at Pakistan request, as if Trump is deciding on issues of war and peace and national interests and etc., because Pakistan is requesting him. I mean, his own advisors are not requesting him. His National Security Council is not requesting him. The Congress is not requesting him. The think tanks are not requesting him. The academics, the CIA is not requesting him, but Pakistan is requesting him, and therefore he's not doing certain things. But problem is that he's creating a problem for us.
Yeah.
He's giving a lot of oxygen to this India baiting, Hindu baiting field marshal of Pakistan, who has created this narrative that they got the best of us in Operation Sindoor and beat him and gave himself this higher rank and also Chief of Defense Staff and a permanent position. So the point, and then with this thing that he done with Saudi Arabia, our concern remains that he may not feel encouraged to do something at some stage, taking advantage of some perceived window he thinks there is to do something which can recoil on him and, of course, create problems for us.
Yeah.
And United States is simply not. On the one hand, they tell us, we're too close to Russia, don't buy oil from Russia, don't do this, don't do that. And when it comes to and that's not their core interest. So when it comes to our core interest, given the history of India-Pakistan relationship, he's constantly building up Pakistan quite needlessly.
Yep. So, there's the credibility loss. Exactly. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir, for that. That puts everything in perspective. And I was kind of, wondering if it's basically the Indus water, because that's where I see a lot of murmur happening around the place, where Chatham House Chatham House, and we all know where Chatham House sits in the power center of the world with the Royal Institute of International Affairs, and of course, the other side, the Council of Foreign Relations. So we all know how this game works. Thank you for, bringing out light to this. To the audience, my request is please like, subscribe, and of course, share your thoughts and your comments as to what you think about this particular thing. Once again, sir, always a pleasure. Namaskar.
My pleasure. Thank you very much. All the best. Namaskar.